Welcome to Grace and Grit, Freestyle Friday. This episode has no guide, no outline, no notes. We're just going to have some fun. Are you ready to get the tea on Grace and Grit and your host, me? Well, let's go. It's finally Friday, and it's officially the beginning of the weekend. What are your plans? Fun stuff? Or are you catching up on chores? Are we working this weekend or are we having fun? Comment below if you want to share. Me, I'm probably going to be catching up on some chores because, well, it's never ending. We're probably going to go visit some grandparents, maybe have a weenie roast if it's not raining. Although only one of my kids actually eat the s'mores, the other two just eat like the deconstructed parts and not even the roasted marshmallows. Speaking of roasted, oh, that's how my mind works. Y'all are about to find out why I need notes and outlines for my podcast because my brain will just jump back and forth. But speaking of roasting, my loving biological child roasted me the other day. Well, before I tell you, if you hear my papers, it's just topics. It's not notes. I promise. There's no notes. Before I tell you about how he roasted me, I should probably tell you that we do have rules. We do have things like that, but we also joke with each other, and we kind of have that vibe. But anyway, so he's almost 14, and he's changing so much, and he's growing up on me too fast. And we were having what I would call a Kodak moment. And I look at him in the loving way a mom does, and I'm telling him that he's growing up too fast. And then I don't know how I feel about that little shadow of a mustache that he has now. And he looks at me with this loving little face and he says, I guess that's something else I got from you. Like, burn. I was speechless. And I just pulled him into a hug. I said, that was a good one. I love you, son. But I don't really like you right now. But it was all in good fun, and it was just a little joke thing. It was pretty good, I gotta tell you. That one was good. But he immediately apologizes, and I'm like, no, it's good. But anyway, have you ever this is why I need notes. Have you guys ever been roasted by your kids? You heard that phrase, out of the mouth of babes? I would love to see some. You can share them in the comments. That would be awesome. This is the same kiddo that tells all his gaming friends that his mom has a podcast and tell your moms to subscribe. It's for moms. It's like a bunch of girl stuff. Anyway, so I didn't write notes or an outline, but just in case my brain like paused for a moment, I have written like, I don't know, 30 something topics just in case I got stuck. That way I could just kind of flip through and be like, okay, books, okay, movies, let's talk about this, and just see what comes to my brain. So if you hear papers, that's what it is. I've literally just wrote topics, just like 1-2 words. But I've got in here like 15 times, like, subscribe, share. So anyway, But we're going to subject jump a lot because my mind is going to go blank. But, okay, so I said books. So let's talk about books. What are you guys reading? Anything good? I just finished Thorn of Roses. I think it was 5 books. Okay, so I didn't know what they were. I just been seeing them like on the reels on Facebook and stuff like that, and like everybody reading these books. And I had already finished. I don't even remember what I was reading before that, but I had already finished my book, so I'm like, what do I read next? So I bought the first one. Listen up. If you are a Nicholas Sparks fan, these are not like Nicholas Sparks books. These are pretty spicy. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked and a little surprised. Oh, they're very good books, and I'm telling you, I think I read all of them in it was a very short time. But I did skip a lot of pages because I'm like, I don't need all this spicy stuff. But they're really good books if you like the spicy books. What have I read? So I've read the Divergent books, except for the 4. I haven't read that one. I want to though. Watch the Divergent movies. Love hate relationship when they bring book to movies because I just feel like they could have done a better job most of the time. I've read The Hunger Games, except for I think they have a couple of new books now. It's like it's like the Ballad of Songbirds. I'm probably wrong on that. But I read all the way to the Catching Fire. So I've read so many Nicholas Spark books, like it is unreal. I've read a bunch. I have read a few of the Vampire Diary books. I haven't finished those. That's on my to read list. I have read all of the Twilight books, except for the last one I'm finishing now is Midnight Sun. I don't know why I'm struggling with that one. It didn't grip me like the other ones did. So it's a big book, and normally I can finish things, but it could just be because I'm so busy I haven't finished that one. I'm going to put that on my little list in my mind, finish that book. My favorite books are from Jane Austen. I love those books. And I wish she had written so many more because I just know my collection would be huge. But I have all of them. And I think my favorite is Pride and Prejudice. And I got to tell you, the movie version of it with, I think it's Keira Knightley, that's a pretty good version of that movie, that book. That's probably one of my favorite movies, actually. So I think they did a really good job. But other than Jane Austen, I like Emily Bronte. I love Jane Eyre. I don't know why I'm drawn to like those type of books, but I love them. I absolutely love them. Okay, so we're gonna jump subjects again. I'm not gonna say that every time. What are we watching? Obviously, podcast and YouTube. Thank you, by the way. What are we watching on TV? I have developed an obsession, and I really don't understand why, but Sister Wives. Like, I'm so drawn to that, and I'm just like addicted to the drama and the just, oh, man, I cannot get enough. And the one-on-ones that they do after every season, oh, I love those. I love those. I watch those. I can't binge watch Sister Wives because I'm already caught up. So I literally have to wait because it airs on Sunday. So I wait until Monday, and then Hulu has it. So I'll watch it on Mondays on Hulu. But in between, if I'm not watching podcasts YouTube or Sister Wives, I'm binge watching Survivor again. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just get in these things, and if I start something, I feel like I have to see it through. So I have to finish like all of it before I can start something else. But Hulu doesn't offer all the way back to like season 1, so I think I started at like season 14, and I'm just slowly going my way through. Man, the drama that's in there. You know how, like, immediately when the show starts, you have a character that you're like, I really want him to get voted off or her to get voted off. Like, they need to be out. I love doing that, and my son does that too. He's like, we don't like this one. We don't like that one. We need them to be voted out. But we tend to do that. Me and my son kind of gang up on certain shows we watch and kind of watch them together. Me and my husband watched Castle. We would, it was like our thing. We would, on the nights it was just us for dinner, we would watch like an episode or two of Castle. We finished that. And then one time I got him hooked on Longmire, and he finished the series, and like the last season, he stayed up until like 6 o'clock binge watching it, and he was like, never again, woman, you are not getting me hooked on a show again. I have got to work. Do you know how late I was up watching that? And then the ending just made me mad. But this is a man that when we got together, he's like, I don't watch a lot of TV. You know movie quotes, and you know actors and actresses and all this stuff, and I don't know any of those people. And he has since then been hooked on several shows. And I have now created a monster because I'm not just a true crime junkie. So is he. Now, I'll watch like the court streams and things like that. I like to watch my creators when they deep dive cases and things like that. He watches like those little episodes where it's like narrated and it gives you like the whole rundown of the story, and then he'll send me those, like, you need to look up this case and this guy and this guy, and then I'll go see if there's a trial, and then I'll watch the trial. And he's like, I don't know how you do that, that's so boring. Oh my god, it is the juiciest tea in a trial. You get so much information. That's why I love them. You have to be patient, and not every courtroom's audio is the greatest. See, I just lost my train of thought. That is why I have my little subjects. Oh, Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. Are y'all fans? I am. I haven't finished Fear the Walking Dead yet, but I did go all the way through The Walking Dead, and I have not started the spinoffs. I do really want to do those, though. But I'm just so worried that I'm going to get hung up on another one. And right now my life is kind of busy. And I mean, I can watch an episode or two of Survivor and not get caught up. But if I start my boy Daryl, if I start something with him, I'm not doing nothing. It'll be another weekend like it was this past weekend. If you listen to Wednesday's episode, you know I had a major mom fail. So I'm telling you, if I watch the spinoffs, ain't nobody gonna have clothes again. It ain't happening. Okay, so this is the first Freestyle Friday, and there wasn't really a lot of notification for it. I didn't really give y'all a heads up. I'm sorry about that. I'm working on it. I'm getting organized. But in the future, if y'all can put some questions in the comments or send me an email with some questions, then I'll try to answer them on Fridays, and I'll just collect them like all week, and then on Fridays we may end up doing like a whole episode of just you ask me questions and I answer. If you're gonna ask me where I live, then I'm gonna tell you. In a house. So I'll go ahead and answer that one right now. Where do I live? In a house. That's what my son says. If he's online and somebody's like, where do you live? He's like, in a house. by some trees near a road. Like, you go, boy. Okay, so the email is the Grace and Grit podcast at yahoo.com. I will put it up towards the end of this video so that you can pause it and write it down. We do now have a Facebook and Instagram and a Patreon. So those are all ways to communicate with me. And you can do that anytime you want to. If you want to share a story, maybe you want the spotlight. Ooh, next week we could do viewer spotlight. So somebody send me some stories and I'll give you the spotlight. And I could be like, Granny Moberry sent me this story or would like to share this story. That's a made up name, by the way. Or if you want to keep it anonymous, I can keep it anonymous. But anyway, send me some stuff to share. I'll give y'all the spotlight too. So since this one was kind of like no heads up, I figured I would do like some rapid fire questions. So I literally just have 3 or 4 short questions here. I really can't count them. Apparently I'm having a hard time reading my handwriting. But I'm just going to read the question and then I'm going to tell you what comes to my mind. So, favorite drink? Coffee. Dr. Pepper Zero. Iced coffee is a third. And I use the sugar-free caramel syrup and the sugar-free skinny salted caramel stuff. Favorite food? Pancakes or deep dish pepperoni pizza. Dog or cat? Both. I have both. I have a dog who is technically his breed is a majestic hound, but he's coonhound and bloodhound mix. His name is Duke, and he is a spoiled baby and dumb. He falls off the porch. He really does. And then we have a cat who is actually my son's cat, and his name is Peanut Butter. And the funny thing about that is my son doesn't eat peanut butter, but his cat's name is Peanut Butter. Do I talk a lot off of this podcast? Yes. The family who are watching, shh, no comments. We don't need that negativity. Where do I live? Oh, I've already answered that one. In a house. Do I have merch? Not yet, but it is a goal. All right, we're gonna try something. So every YouTube channel that I subscribe to, the community that chats and things like that, they all have a nickname. So I want you guys to help me come up with some ideas of what we could call ourselves. Could we be the Gritters, like Grace and Grit, the Gritters, the Mom Squad, the Chaos Crew? What y'all got? Throw some ideas at me. Put them in the comments. Maybe we can vote later. We could do like a poll. Take like top 5, top 4, top 3, and we'll vote. Ooh, that would be a cool idea. Something dumb I have done this week. You won't believe how many times that I have done this. So it's not a first. Oh, you hear that noise. We're about to spill some tea on your host here. I am type 1 diabetic. And I am insulin dependent. And I have recently acquired an insulin pump. And the noise, if it picked it up, was my pump telling me there's an alert on my blood sugar. So if you hear that noise throughout podcast, that's what it is. What was I talking about? Oh, something dumb I did. Yeah, so you won't believe how many times I've done this. This is not a first. But I restarted the dryer to wrinkle away the clothes in it because I procrastinate and didn't pull them out and fold them, and I didn't want them to be wrinkled. So I wrinkled the dryer away. Not once, but twice in my procrastinating self there. Anyway, I finally, like, ooh, I gotta do this. The dryer goes off. I open it up to fold the laundry. It was empty. I literally wrinkled away an empty dryer twice. But if we go back to Wednesday's episode of finding wins, that was a win because I didn't have any clothes in there. Gotta count them all. What else could we? Some behind the scenes information, maybe? Let's see. Oh, okay. So when I record my podcast, my goal is to be live. So, like, if you listened to last week or last Wednesday, the last episode on Wednesday, I got the hiccups. So some of you are probably thinking, well, why didn't you just stop and get rid of the hiccups and then re-record? So I wanted this to be raw, uncut, like unfiltered. So I don't edit the talking part. I edit the slides and all that stuff. But when I hit go, I go. And then when I'm done, I hit stop and I save it because I want it to be real. I don't want it to feel like it's edited or filtered and showing you something that I'm not. I want you to know who I am. Mistakes, misspoken words, brain farts, all of it. But when I record my podcast, I have to alert the whole house not to be weird. Like, just in case my mic picks it up, even though I shut myself in my room and I've got, everything turned off that could just like drive into the microphone because it's super sensitive. I tell everybody, like, y'all don't be weird. Don't be knocking on the walls. Y'all don't walk to the door and burp because they will. We're a house of jokesters. So one time I was recording, I did stop and start over on this time, but I was only like a minute and a half into it. But one time I'm in here recording my podcast, and apparently, for some unknown reason, my husband decides that he needs to drive the tractor right beside the window, and it picked it up. Like, thank God I was only in the hello, welcome to Grace and Grit part. But I was like, no, I can't believe he did that. Didn't I tell him not to be weird? But yeah, so just to give you a little sneak peek in there. But I do record in one take. That way when I'm talking about my subjects, it's as close to being live as my anxiety will allow. I do listen to them over before I post just to make sure nothing weird is picked up on the mic, like a kid burping or my husband on the tractor. But other than that, that's how I do it. My mind is going blank, so I'm looking at another topic. What are some topics you guys want to see on Wednesdays? Is there anything that you want to be covered? You can email me suggestions or obviously put them in the comments and things like that. I have written down talk about new shows. I talked about them in the episode on Wednesday, but I will go over them here because if not, I'll forget. But I'm looking at it right now. So obviously Fridays we have Freestyle Friday. But on Sundays, we're going to have Pause and Grace. And that's going to be like a weekly devotional. It's going to be more faith-based with some scriptures. Not preachy. Just what helped me through the week. What is a lesson I learned? Because I used to share my stories on my Facebook. And I got a lot of encouragement from sharing my stories. And everybody, you should put them in a book. You should write a book. So there's where that idea came from. But my son, when it was just me and him, man, that kid, God uses him a lot for me. But, so I would just write these little snippets of lessons that I learned or my Godsmack moments where it was just like, duh. So I thought, well, Sundays, how about we do that? That way I can share those. And then hopefully in turn help somebody else out. It says the views, the subscribers. I mentioned that in Wednesday. At the time of recording this, I think our subscribers are at 10. And I don't even know what the views are because they keep going up and it is crazy. But I'm absolutely thankful for it. And like I said on Wednesday, maybe we could set a goal. And if we get so many subscribers, maybe we'll go live and do a face reveal. I think I'm talking too fast there. Maybe we'll do a face reveal and then set another goal and then go live. I can't overwhelm my anxiety. It just shot up just saying that. Okay, gotta do a shout out. So a shout out to my mom, my sister, and my cousin, who I know are all three watching. Possibly my uncle. Not really sure he knows what the podcast is about, but he loves me and he supports me, and I push subscribe for him. That's not cheating. He asked me to. But the other day when I did that, he was asking me about the podcast and stuff, and he wanted to know what it is and what it's about and all that. And my dad goes, "You got a podcast? What do you do? Just talk about stuff?" And he shakes his head, and I'm like, some people like to hear me talk. Please like me. Kidding, kind of. But anyway, so I'm explaining to him, and my mind just went blank. Oh, remember Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Right now the schedules are Wednesdays and Fridays 6 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. What is a good time for y'all? I put a poll in the post. Early mornings, lunchtime, evenings, or is it kind of like my life is so busy, I watch when I can? If y'all could go to that poll, I can't think, and just answer them for me. That way I get a good consensus of where everybody's at, because I can always adjust times. I can always do that. And subscribe, because sometimes I might just post an extra video if something's going on and I want to talk about it. But this is a safe space. No judgment. No judgment. Feel free to join the chat. Step out of your comfort zone. We listen and we don't judge. I'm looking to make sure I didn't miss a topic, but I think I've already ran through all of them. And this is why I have to have notes. Because if I don't have notes, it's like my brain glitches. It seriously glitches. And then I don't know what else to do. So we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to trial and error this. I'm going to need some participation. I'm going to need some comments. So that next week, I know we don't like hearing about this. We don't like hearing about this. And also, I'm going to confess that next week, I may actually have to get, like, some notes. That way I don't do this blank space thing again. Because I feel bad. I mean, y'all took time out of your day to come here listen to me rant, rave, and ramble. And I can't even come up with a subject to talk about. It's crazy business. I've already covered all of that. Favorite books, favorite movies, favorite food, questions. I told y'all where to send me some questions, how to do it. My vote is for Gritters. I don't know why I keep going back to that, but it reminds me of like Gremlins, but Gritters. But does that sound weird? I like that one. We're going to have to figure out a name for our community, so y'all put in the comments what you come up with. That is about all I've got for you guys today. But remember, we're learning together. I'm not perfect by no means, and I just want y'all to know that there's somebody real on the other side of these videos. It's not the highlight reel over here, okay? We're just big mess, anxiety, just everything all over here, okay? So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and be you. There's no judgment here. But until next time, don't forget to check us out on Sunday. You never know. It could be the thing you never know you needed. I will see you guys next time.